So what we're looking at, you only have, like I said, about 5 slides today, but they are focusing on the types of reasoning, the personality types, and then self-esteem, just basic information there. So the surveys you're going to take today are related specifically to the types of reasoning and personality types. And these are going to help you determine, how well you may fit for a certain major in college, maybe a certain job, whatever it may be. All right. So there are numerical, verbal, and diagrammatic reasoning tests, and they're considered psychometric aptitude tests, all right, that are used by employers who are offering professional employment. The tests are great tools for determining how you may perform a specific job. All right. And we're going to look at a couple of the tests in just a second to see maybe which one you'd like to take. So the survey for today, you're going to be choosing a certain type of test to take based on where your interests lie or whether you think where your skills may lie. All right. In the past, I've had to take a couple of these. It's been kind of interesting, especially from employment perspective, to see who uses these tests. I remember back when I was in high school, I applied for a job at Subway, and they used a numerical aptitude test, obviously, to test, counting ability and all these things, right? So that was kind of interesting. Ended up getting a job at Domino's instead of Subway there. Back when renting movies and stuff was a thing, I applied for a job at Hollywood Video one time. They had me take a personality test to be considered for employment there. So even lower level jobs, they still, want you to do these things. I've also interviewed for a couple positions with Greensboro City Government, the Department of, Human Services and things like that in Guilford County that have used these same types of tests to kind of gauge, where your personality is, how you may meld well, or maybe not be a good fit for a department, whatever it may be, right? So these tests allow you to see that and gather some data about that. So the types of tests you're going to be able to see today and have a chance to take are these right here. All right. So I want you to be thinking about which one you'd like to do, and I'll give you kind of a walkthrough of how to access them in just a little bit. But you got your verbal reasoning test, right, and it measures your general cognitive ability with higher order thinking skills. All right. So if you're wanting to go into a more analytical job, whether that be a teacher, maybe research, something along those lines, then that may be where you would want to, which one or the test you would want to do there. Numerical ability is going to be testing the understanding of numerical relationships, right, and handling numerical concepts. So if you want to go into a field that may be more finance related, that would be a good fit for you. We got clerical, speed of response. All right, so if you're wanting to go into a clerical position, that would be what you would want to look there. Manual dexterity, all right, measures simple hand-eye coordination, gross motor skills. Mechanical reasoning measures ability to understand basic mechanical principles of machinery, tools, and motion. And then spatial and visual measures the ability to mentally manipulate two-dimensional and three-dimensional figures, right? And you may have some crossover here, but I do want you to choose one when we are looking at your surveys today, all right? And then you have the personality types that you're going to encounter as well. And these kind of break down into looking at the world in a realistic fashion versus a more intuitive or curious fashion, all right? So be thinking about which one of these matches up with your personality type as well. So we got realistic. They have strong mechanical, psychomotor, and athletic abilities. They're honest and loyal. They like the outdoors, prefer working with machines, tools, plants, and animals, right? So they do not like working with other people for the most part. Investigative, strong problem solving and analytical skills. They're mathematically inclined, like to observe, learn, and evaluate, prefers working alone, and then they're reserved. But they're an idea generator, right? So they're kind of they have that innovative type of thinking where they're coming up with new creative ideas all the time. Then we have artistic, and that's going to be creative, complex, emotional, intuitive, idealistic flair for communicating ideas, prefers working independently as well, and likes to sing, write, act, paint, think creatively, whatever the task may be, it's related to some creative endeavor. Then you have the social personality type. It's going to be your friendly, outgoing personality type. They find fulfillment in helping other people, strong verbal and personal skills. Their teaching abilities are strong, and they can be somewhat impulsive, right? So they may not think every decision all the way through. Then you have enterprising. They're going to be confident, assertive, sociable. The speaking and leadership abilities are strong. They like to influence other people. They have strong interpersonal skills, and they are status conscious, right? These are the people that like to get out there, interact with one another, and be the leader. And then they like to have those titles attached to their name, right? And then you have conventional. That's going to be the dependable, disciplined, precise, persistent, orderly, and efficient person. And they're usually practical, but they're detail oriented, right? And this is going to be related more to the clerical side of things. Whether you're an office assistant or a secretary or administrative assistant, whoever, whatever position that might be, conventional might be a good personality type for that type of job, right? Okay. And then lastly, we have self-esteem here. All right. So your self-esteem is your opinion of yourself and how you feel about your abilities and your limitations. All right. Now, earlier we talked about self-concept, and self-esteem is part of those three things, remember, that form your self-concept. It's shaped by your thoughts, your relationships, and your experiences. Your self-esteem evolves through your experiences with different people and the activities you complete. Your experiences during childhood play a large role in shaping your self-esteem. And then successes, failures, interactions with your family, teachers, coaches, religious authorities, and peers all contribute to the creation of your self-esteem, right? So this is a pretty complex concept here when you think about it. All of the experiences that you've had throughout your life, all the experiences that you have had, either good or bad, help kind of shape your self-esteem and dictate whether you have a positive or negative self-esteem, high or low self-esteem, however you want to put it. So when you're doing your survey today and you're thinking about self-esteem, definitely consider that when you're filling out those options to be as truthful as possible. Because remember, this is about you, right? This first unit is all about you, making sure that you can gather information and see where your strengths and weaknesses lie. So then those can be addressed, thus boosting your self-esteem, right? So childhood experiences that promote positive self-esteem include spoken to and treated respectfully, right? Positive attention and affection, and then positive recognition, right? So now, of course, this is a little more complex than this, but basically it breaks down into these three categories. If you were respected as a child, if you were given affection and you were positively reinforced, then chances are you're going to have a positive self-esteem as you grow up. If you experience harsh criticism, physical and emotional abuse, or you're ignored or ridiculed or teased, then of course that could contribute to having a negative or low self-esteem, right? So overall, that's kind of what we're looking at today and what you need to consider as you start looking at your surveys. So that's it for the lecture notes for today. So now I'm going to transition over to Canvas, and we're going to take a look at your survey for today. All right. So if you scroll down to 9.9, all right. Now remember, these personal characteristics and interests notes right here correspond to exactly what we just went over. So if you need to refer to those, that's certainly fine. You do have two tasks that I want you to complete today. So the first one is a practice aptitude test. And this is what measures your type of reasoning, right? So what you're going to do, just like you did yesterday, you have a sheet down here that talks about your results, all right? So let's cover that right quick. And then I'll click on the link and show you what you need to do. So practice aptitude test inventory. So you're going to complete those boxes just like you have in the past. So what category of test did you decide to complete and why? All right, so which type of test did you choose? Why do you think that's a good fit for you? Okay. What types of questions did your test give you? What did you score on the test? And then how did your score compare to the test average, right? And then lastly, how do you think the skills you practiced while taking the assessment would help you in life beyond high school, whether that be college, the workplace, or whatever? Now, I will say up front, some of these tests are going to be difficult, and that's fine. These are, somewhat used for job placement and all that. So all the skills, maybe all the necessary mental tools that you need to be completely successful in these, maybe you don't have them yet, and that's perfectly fine. All right. But it's good that we can go ahead and take these and start looking at where you guys are at. So after you go into after you click this link, you want to click on free tests, and then you're going to search or scroll to find your category of your test, right? And then complete your test. Now, it may ask you to sign up for this website, depending on which test you take. So if it does, just sign up. It'll email your results. Some tests don't require a sign up. So you'll just have to kind of look at and see which test you take there to determine what you need to do. So after you click this link, it's going to take you to practice aptitude tests. All right. And it's going to tell you what these tests are, different types of aptitude tests, how do you prepare, and all this. Now, you can scroll down, and it's going to give you some categories here. Now, notice it says there's 45 tests under numerical reasoning. All right. You're not going to be able to take all of them. You can only take the free test. I don't want you to pay to take a test here. So what I would do is click on free tests. All right. And then scroll down, and then you have all these here. So we got verbal reasoning, we got numerical reasoning. And then after you choose which one you want to take here, you click on it. And if you scroll down, you should have a list of the tests. Well, oh no, that's a sample test there. You click on the type of test, you click free test again, and then, yeah, there you go. It is at the bottom. And you have a free test you can take here that you don't have to pay for. Now, of course, all the paid tests are going to be locked for you. After you get here, you just click take the test, and then you take the test. All right. So after you take your test, then you'll come back over to your document that we just went over. You'll enter your information in here and then submit on Canvas. All right. So any questions about your survey that you got to complete today or the information we covered? Any questions at all?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Thank you, Noah. All right. So I do want to show you one more thing before we kind of wrap things up. The other assignment you have, it's classified as a quiz on here, but it is related to self-esteem. All right. So make sure when you go in here that you click this link, and it's going to take you to a self-esteem survey. All right. And you'll just indicate for each one of these questions which one best matches you. And I'll show you this quiz right quick. And it's going to gauge how high is your self-esteem. And then on that quiz assignment, you'll enter your results there and answer the questions I have listed. All right. So nothing too major there. So you got two more surveys that you're going to do for me and collect some more data about yourself. And then that's, again, going to funnel directly into completing the project for this unit. All right. So that's about it for today. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up.